We want to do this and grab Burst Lightning and answer the Omniscience that way. Burst Lightning. Because we want the extra creature for the extra damage here. I'm at 0. So we're going to answer that out of the way. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing one of the most interesting decks to come out of the Star City event. And honestly, this deck is very cool and super fun to play overall, and is very inexpensive whenever it comes to the crafting guide to it. As the only rares, if you are already playing Is It Corey Steelcutter, that you'll have to craft is obviously the Songcrafter. The lands I always kind of veto. Like, of course, the lands are going to have a lot of rares in it. It's just how standard it is. But if you don't have the lands, it is going to be a bit tougher to play, just because obviously the green splash is not as easy. But we're doing everything Corey Steelcutter wants. It's the main focal point of the deck. Sleight of hands, opt, unsummon over Flood Maul. And I know that seems a bit weird, but that is because of our Songcrafter here, which we'll cover now. One of the main kind of themes of the deck. A Temur, so green, blue, and red Songcrafter Mage, has Flash, and it is a 3/2. When it enters, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains Harmonize until end of turn. Its Harmonize cost is equal to its mana cost, so that allows us, if we have 4 mana, to kind of flash it in and cast one of our instant speed spells on our opponent's end step that will trigger the Corey Steelcutter. But why that's good with Unsummon is because that allows us to present a loop, if we would like to, where we can play the Songcrafter, give Unsummon Harmonize, pick up the Songcrafter, trigger our Corey Steels, and then next turn we can play the Songcrafter again. Maybe cast a Sleight of Hand now that it's our turn, or even the opt or something like that with that leftover mana. Trigger Corey Steelcutter again, and then our board got incredibly wide for almost no reason. The other cool part about this is if we are in that spot, we can also cast a stock up for 1, but we'll get to that in just a moment here. So that's why Unsummon over into the Flood Maul. But if you are playing best of 1 and going to play competitively, I would argue that you replace those, because obviously temporary lockdowns need to be picked up. But there's a couple other spicy parts to the deck. We have the Glacial Dragon Hunt that helps fuel Hearth Elemental, and it's Layering Terror 1 of in the deck, so that allows us to obviously get cards in our graveyard quicker, and it just allows us to draw an extra card at worst case scenario. So it's not necessarily dead ever. 1, pick your poison to answer either enchantments or artifacts or creatures with flying. This can be even a slick shot if that so needs to be. Then 1 interesting burn spell in here that is 5 damage to target creature. Exile up to 1 target equipment attached to that creature. If it were to die, it's turn exile instead. So if our Corey Steelcutter opponent has 1 up and ready to go, if we have this in hand, remove the creature while also answering the cutter for 1 extra mana over like the Abrade situation. But the kind of final synergy we want to talk about before we hop right into the games is kind of the Songcrafter Mage with the stock up that I was talking about previously. So say we play this on our opponent's end step, we do the unsummon plan, we pick us back up just because we want a Corey Steelcutter trigger. Well, now we can play this on our turn, and if stock up's in that graveyard, we can target stock up, and for 1 blue mana, cast the stock up, because we can harmonize the Songcrafter Mage for that. And that works out pretty well. Other than that, Songcrafter Mage is going to oftentimes be a 3 mana flash this in on our opponent's end step, burn them real quick with the Burst Lightning, hopefully trigger a Corey Steelcutter, and if not, it's a flash creature against those control decks that oftentimes helps us out a ton. Other than that, today is going to be a little bit shorter of a video. My internet cut out after the final match, so we kind of just recorded the outro and the intro, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I ran out of time. I got work tomorrow, like, you know, most of us do. I'm fully employed as well as doing this, so it always helps if you want to try, you know, maybe sub, maybe subscribe. It helps out the channel. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But with that said, let's go game. All right. I think we're here. I think we can keep this. We got double blue. We can Corey Steel on 2. We can unsummon. And we're on to play, obviously. So, honestly, best card's probably a land. Yeah, I'm pitching that card. Definitely don't need that card in our opener here. It's gonna take way too long. Hello. There's a Corey Steel. Gotta need our opponent to do something, it seems. Maybe they have removal for Corey Steel. Double green definitely could do it. Okay. Sure. Alright, so with that said, I could like kind of time walk it here where I just Sleight of Hand and kind of unsummon, do that kind of nonsense, but I don't think that's necessarily worth it. So I'm going to Light a hand now. Arena trying to cost using my red mana that I would like to keep. We'll grab this. This time around, do this. Cast this. Quarry Seal comes up. Oh, man. And I want to kill this thing, so... With stock up in my hand, I'm getting rid of that. And against the green deck, the big green creatures are going to matter a ton, so... Yeah, so far, the Hearth Elemental, like when I played Izzet, I'm not a fan of, but... Maybe they'll get to change my opinion here. At some point in this game. Fast land in hand. Unfortunately, it'll enter tapped. Could maybe stock up, but I end up gifting a card to blow up my Quarry Steel. It's brutal, but it is what it is. This creature units target insert or sorcery card in your graveyard gets harmonized until end of turn. Its harmonized cost is equal to its mana cost. I don't know exactly how that one works. That just games until end of turn. I actually don't know exactly how that resolves out. Weird. Our creature has prowess, so we'll see if we can't maybe trade these off pretty efficiently. Do nothing. Okay. We'll hit. We'll pass. Could have maybe stocked up. My thing is, I don't know if the mana cost in the corners towards it, right? Like, I don't know if this blue is required. When it's enters, creature you control, power 4 greater, draw a card, creature. Alright, sure, I guess. They're all sorceries in my hand too, which is like tough. I want to cast this. I don't actually know. This will get my... Will let me know though. Okay, or it'll go so fast I don't literally get to see it. Okay, cool. Or now I was just looking for something, but thank you. Burst Lightning's pretty sweet. It allows me to stock up Burst Lightning this Land War Elves and then go from there. Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce might be worth it. I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine Spell Pierce is actually worth it. We'll pop this, and then we will attack for 6. And then we can get to the point where it's like op, Burst Lightning unsummoned. I mean, that's +4 here, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. But playing against literally the weirdest decks I've ever played against in my life. Mono green walls. Sure. Yes. Opt. Sure. Allows us to pop this. Nothing there, so get that out of the way, which is pretty nice. Play here. A little part of me wants to unsummon this, but I feel because I feel like the Burst Lightning is just too good to go face for 5 in a spot like this. I'm gonna unsummon here, or it's 4, right? Yeah, because now now we have lethal here, and most likely they won't have a counter spell. Weirdly getting out of this game, but it's just such a weird matchup. I would never expect to be playing against this. I guess they could play a Sirach that gives creatures haste. I have no idea. Maybe fight a creature? Yeah. Sure. They'll be fully tapped out here. Unfortunately, they didn't play any of the green creatures that gain them life, so we'll just be able to Burst Lightning them and close out the game. A weird one, though. Sure. And that's going to do it. Okay. Sweet. We get there. We move on. All right, we go first. Our hand's a bit heavy, but we'll try it here. Our tap land. Let that go. Don't really need that right now. Maybe we need that. I don't actually know. Go ahead and slide a hand though. Grab a land. Play the red source. So we have our burst lightning available against potentially the mono red deck. Play him. Awesome. Always love when we're able to barrel burst lightning against the manifold mouse. Spell Pierce is good. I think here though I want to stock up. Alright. Flaring Terror is probably going to be a card of value here. To be able to play this. Burst Lightning, another thing down. 1/1, sure. Manifold Mouse, okay. Oh boy. Or we just double barrel both of these, I guess. We have blue-red available after this. The land is obviously the card I'd love to discard, but Spell Pierce is not going to be worth it here, I don't think. Body this. And cast this. Why do you do this to me, Arena? Because if I don't discard a non-land source, I don't get to do damage. But now, of course, of all times, to just rip land after land when I'm trying to actually discard for it. There's a Heartfire Hero. Okay, dude. What am I playing against, dog? Alright, so the thing is I should be able to do a lot here. Should be able to play this. Give sacrifice an artifact, sacrifice enchantment, sacrifice creature for flying. Yeah, it doesn't really get it done. I guess I could just do burst lightning here. Yeah, I thought I had to pay this. Do this. I don't think, does this even work? I'm curious. I actually don't know. It's implied, yeah, like what? Why would we make me pay that cost? It's crazy. I didn't think it worked that way. It showed red, but sometimes Arena's visual bugs show random stuff, so it's a little bit weird. But sure, I guess I have a 5/5 now. What are you going to do? Play the 4th Manifold Mouse? No, Arena's trying its best to get you there, but like, this is redonkulous. I'm good. A little part of me feels like, kind of in, to some extent, it feels like I'm in the driver's seat, but I could be wrong. We'll deal 3, answering that kind of nemesis pretty cleanly. It's a tough day to live this game. They could shoot this if they'd like. Oh, they do. Let's go. We have multiple mana sources up, so let's play this. Story Seal is pretty awesome. Okay, Arena. Like, I'm going to spaz. Arena's trying so hard. I literally wouldn't have nothing to do with that blue source. Obviously, now it looks like it's going to punish me, but I can't assume I'm going to draw an unsummon. I have a 4/5. I have the 3rd Heartfire Hero. Sure, man. If you're going to hit 3 Heartfire Heroes and 3 Manifold Mouse and literally nothing else in your deck, I guess, like, we'll have this fight. Story Steel. Summon. Yep. Now this is where the Hearth Elemental does its best work. I'm just going to set this back and hold my 2 spells, and I'm just going to attack for a ton. Alright, cool. You want to play 4th copy of Manifold or Heartfire Hero? Show it to me. Multiple Witch Talker Frenzies, that's crazy. Sure. Opt. Sure. We're just gonna prowess our way up out of this. No? Don't want to play anymore. Okay, mono red. We have a hand. A hand of hands. We have a swamp. We have another land. I'm in. I say go. Alright. We'll need a green, probably. Let's slide a hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, mama. We're here. Ready. Put that unholy annex on the stack for me, sir. Oh! Land? Oh. Tough day. If I was able to flash this in and then also counter it, that'd been so sick. I guess it doesn't really matter, so I want to take the most optimal land, which it is red, technically. I mean, I guess... Actually, that's not even turned on, so it has to be a copper line here. Hit the gas, brother. Relax. Man, I countered your unholy annex. You're going to play another one. Oh, no, you're not? Oh, sick. I'm here for that. Well, they didn't play another annex, so here's Corey Steelcutter. Told me to step on the gas, and the gas is getting stepped now, brother. I mean, their hand's probably just full of removal. You don't mean that. You don't mean that, dude. I didn't even resolve side hand. Come on now. Someone's probably dead for the most part, so let's just grab another land here and then pass. Actually, I could just play this, but that seems bad. I feel like over the next 2 turns, we're going to find ourselves spinning our entire hand. Sure. That's pretty good to us. I'll let that go. Now what do I want to do? Guess sleight of hand here. Or not sleight of hand, unsummon. Then I have a stock up. Oh my gosh. Not dude. Crazy, this is cut downable. Yeah. Stock up. Harmonize. This is pretty sick. This is pretty sick. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Here's a bong for 3. There's a bloodletter. Sure. Ooh, there's a pause now. Okay, fair enough. Oh boy. I love Corey Steelcutter. Big Corey Steelcutter guy. Honestly, I feel like I just let him block at some point here. Yeah, I'm just going to play another Corey Steelcutter. I don't think I even have to really budge that hard. We're in. Any block whatsoever requires a burst lightning to respawn. So now, obviously, Bloodletter's gone. We trample well over. Then I just pass because obviously board wipes are a thing. And this card's obviously just too good in our hand. Go for the throw. The singleton removal, obviously struggling against 3 copies of Corey Steelcutter. It's just like 0 chance that ever ends up winning against us if we have this much kind of action going on. And then now it's just play this. Then we just grab like Burst Lightning. We don't even have to harmonize. Sure. Resolves. Burst Lightning. At 0. We'll just pay a red. All these Corey Steelcutters will trigger. The prowess is all going to happen. Then we're going to get to Burst Lightning again. And it's just fully over. Which is quite crazy. I mean, Mono Black basically... Unfortunately for them, 0 chance that they ever win with this many Corey Steelcutters. If they don't have an Unholy Annex online with a big enough demon that I can't... Obviously, Unsummon can always bounce that demon. But but I can't remove via just like normal damage. But cool, we win. We move on because our opponent's not gonna. They're gonna stay here. All right, opponent's first. It's a little questionable to say the least, but hopefully we don't just get blown out. Authority of the councils is fine. Weirdly, pick your poison can answer that. So sure. Sacrifice an enchantment of their choice. Thankfully, I don't really care about the Soul Guide Lantern all that much. Spell Pierce is, I guess, possible for my opponent to play here. But each opponent sacrifice an enchantment of their choice. Might as well just get the value. If I get barreled by a Spell Pierce, I get barreled by a Spell Pierce. Now, this will, if our opponent knows what we're on, this will bother us because of Hearth Elemental and stuff. But if they don't know, and Tolarian Terror, things like that. But if they don't know, then you know. Alright, well, that is a bit suspicious. Stock up. This will definitely get countered if they have one. Hey, maybe they don't have one. Tough one. I don't think this is a grab. I think stock up 100% is, and maybe it's a land. If I draw another land, I'm pretty upset. So, we're just going to take the turn off here and just do this. They go to draw a card. Interesting. So that means our graveyard's solid. And that means things like Tolarian Terror are just going to be good. Yep, and then we hit the land. Fortunately enough, we didn't budge. Let's fire this off. Card resolved beforehand, so hopefully it resolves now. And then we slide a hand, make a creature. Obviously, there's a lot of cards that could blow up this artifact in blue-white control. Songcrafter or Burst Lightning. I think I take the flash creature here. Stack. Especially considering it allows me to cast like a spell in their end step while also putting in a 3. No way. You have to be blue-white, right? They put an Omniscience in that graveyard after playing an Authority of the Councils and a Soul Guide Lantern. I would have raged. I might still rage. Temporary Lockdown, kind of the card that we were talking about. Like, there's definitely answers in their deck. But there's definitely answers in our deck, apparently. So that's pretty cool. This one. And then I'm just going to play this 4/5. Maybe a Sunfall or something comes, but I feel like if there's a 2-mana option like that floating around for us, there could be a Smite here, which maybe the hesitation, but maybe we're walking into a Sunfall. Stock up, okay. Or 4/5's looking pretty solid. Could also be artifacts, we just haven't seen it yet. Like playing the Battlefront and stuff, and maybe our opponent thought Temporary Lockdown was the most important card here. Maybe there's blue-white, I don't... Like, it's definitely not Just Guy. I can't imagine they haven't found a red land. Yeah, I feel like it's just... It is what it is. Alright, I am going to commit Arson now. Barrel this. Don't want that. We want good spells here. Unsummon's pretty solid in a sense. We definitely want to barrel another one. I don't really want to play this creature right now because I feel like my opponent's going to get to blow me out if I do that. Maybe we'll find an untapped land to cast this Burst Lightning with. Or the opposite will be true. Just take more flash creatures here. Maybe I just grab a Surveil land. The blue-red's pretty good. I don't need a lot of green. Need a little bit. Sure. Here's a ton. Against my... Maybe it's... Are you serious? Are you for real? What are we doing? Sure. I also like fully refuse to believe this is Omniscience. If it is, then to beat me, dude. I have no idea. Eat this. Don't have a way to like do 2 spells, but this has ward at least, so I'll do this. I mean, I do have Unsummon, obviously, and a Burst Lightning, but we know that there's issues here. Blast Zone can get ticked up to 2 to deal with the Corey Steelcutter. They literally are their Omniscience combo. Blue Eye Control's never playing these cards. This threw me off so hard. Like, am I supposed to play around that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels wrong. But they have, what, 5, 6, 7 lands? I miscounted one time and fully lost because of it. 8. And I've had this conversation a lot. I think in these spots, if you are Omniscience, just maybe consider actually just playing the Regent. You know what I mean? Just consider doing that. Do we Burst Lightning here? I think so, because I'm going to want it in my graveyard. Could Spell Pierce this, I guess. I can always hold up multiple burn spells. I'm going to Spell Pierce this. Awesome. Fantastic. That means they won't have it for a following turn. And then I will play this for 1. And I will say go. We're going to have to just play this flash game. They go to 9 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They cycle this again. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not sold that that's the best idea, but... Now they have 2 cards in hand. Do I have Spell Pierce in here? No, I do not. I do have a Burst Lightning. Sure. Whenever they cast this extra spell, okay, that resolves, obviously. All right, so with this Riddle on the stack, we will respond a bit differently. We want to do this and grab Burst Lightning and answer the Omniscience that way. Burst Lightning. Because we want the extra creature for the extra damage here. I'm at 0. So we're going to answer that out of the way. And then now we have 7 damage on board that our opponent has to deal with. And then if we do find an additional amount of damage, we can get there. But very cool. Very cool way to do that. Awesome. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to ignore it. It's probably just mice. Or burn? Rude. Rude. How do I outpace this? I do know a majority of this matchup matters in the fact of, like, keeping any time a creature can technically do damage, you want to keep that off of you. I will take the Botanical Sanctum here, because we need extra blue in this hand. I'll let that go. Don't necessarily need it anymore. Oh, that's going to help the pace be very aggressive. Especially in a situation where, like, a Slick Shot comes in and maybe, like, they try to Boros Charm it or something. That resolves. Straight up burn, dude. Sure. I mean, we have quite a bit to shove back. We will commit 1 Burst Lightning, I think, just because we want our Tolarian Terror to be cheaper. It's kind of one of those mana efficient plays. They have a Braid in their Boros Burn deck. That's insane. Sure. That actually is, like, weirdly okay with us. Like, obviously that sucks, but now obviously my plan has changed. Blood hand. One of those, I suppose. Oh. At this point, that's 6 damage. I might as well just keep it. You know what I'm saying? Here. Might as well get the extra prowess in while I can. And now, what is this math? It's what we have 4. All right, they answer a creature, which is annoying to an extent, but like totally makes sense. Get a little more burn here. I mean, let's just play a Tolarian Terror. This is half their life total right here. Then we can kick a Burst Lightning after we play one here to end the game. Will Boros Burn do it? Sure. Sure. It's an interesting match, that's for sure. There's. I can play the burn game too. That's actually a mistake, I believe, if I play that. Because if it gets abraded, we're upset. Nobody better deflecting swap me, dude. I guess I could technically return this back to my hand. Alright. I say. You tell me how overworked you are. If I just wait, I think I have to wait here. It's weird because I believe they could play a white card that gives them hexproof. Sure. Alright, sounds good to me. Yeah, with that said, I mean, we're doing well. Alright, everyone. Well, here we are. This list is actually quite interesting. It's definitely probably needs a little bit reworked just for best of one strictly. I think like Unsummon is obviously a very strong card. It does work well with like the Songcrafter if you want to play it, return the Songcrafter back to your hand and then kind of do that shenanigans for your Corey Steelcutter. Allows you to kind of get that extra value that we never necessarily saw ourselves. But I do think I would prefer Unsummon to probably be into the Flood Maul if I had to actually kind of guess. But I do like the kind of main board hate piece of one Fiery Annihilation where we can answer a Corey Steelcutter creature while also blowing up the equipment that's attached to it. That's kind of cool. But overall, I mean, we won a lot of games, but I don't know. It was a weird deck, you know? Like it's definitely a deck that I would like to play 100 times to really be like, yeah, it's definitely really cool. You should try it out, blah, 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 because obviously there's kind of crafting stuff on the line. But realistically, the only crafting material of this entire deck, because for the most part, it looks like uncommons we found in our attic. But most likely, if you're a Corey Steelcutter player, you already own these. So the only rares, obviously the lands, are always going to be kind of exempted from this. But the only kind of rare you have in the deck is a Songcrafter Mage, and the rest is most likely crafted if you already have Izzet Corey Steelcutter anyway. There's definitely a cool feature to the deck, and obviously if you're playing best of 3, it gives you a lot more sideboard options in terms of answering artifacts, enchantments, and so on and so forth. When Corey Steelcutter is such a vast majority of the meta right now, and obviously makes it very tough, but it was fun. It was cool. That's kind of all I got to say about it outside of playing more. As I'll talk about in the intro, my internet went out. It kind of came back later. That's where we are. So my outro is not as in tune as it would be, as I didn't quite like record it straight after playing. So it's a bit weird. But with that said, I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.